specify that. So let's look at example A. 0.036. Well, we want to change that to a fraction. Well, what's my numerator? 36. And the denominator is 1,000. Where'd you get the 1,000 from? 3 zeros. Make sense? If this was a 5-point question, you'd possibly miss a point if this was your answer. Who can tell me why? It's not simplified. You see they're even. They're both even numbers. So that should tell you right away it's not the simplest it can be. Did we talk about like breaking it down and crossing out the ones that are in common? Yes. Is this ringing some bells? Okay, let's look at the 36. What times what's 36? 6 and 6. Okay, what times what's 6? 2 times 3. And this one would be 2 times 3. 1,000. This one's going to get long, but it's fine. What times what's 1,000? 100 times 10. 10 would be 5 times 2, right? 100 would be what? 10 times 10. We remember doing this, those of you that were with us in class? And we break down those 10s into 2s and 5s. Do any of those numbers that we have on the bottom rungs break down anymore? No. So I'm going to write 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 over 2 times 2 times 2 times what? Keep going. What's the rest of it? How many of them? Everybody sees here's a 2, a 2, a 2. So there's my 2, 2, and 2. They're in the red. And here's a 5, a 5, and a 5. And there's my 5, 5, and 5. Does that make sense? Now what do? Cross out what they share. So how many 2's am I crossing out in the bottom? Only 2. Why only 2? Why not all 3 of them? Very good. They only share 2. 3 times 3 is what? Okay. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 5 is 50. 50 times 5, if you can't do it on your head, do it on a separate piece of paper. It's 250. Questions where that came from? That would be your answer.
Why did you cross out the 2's again?
Anything they share, that's their common factors. When you learn simplifying fractions, you probably learned we can divide both the top and bottom by 2 to get rid of it. That's the same thing. When you cross them out, it's like you divided it by them. But crossing them out, what they have in common, means you could have divided them by that number and it goes away. It works this way a little easier because you don't, sometimes if you're simplifying something, you would think, oh, I've got to divide this by 2. And then you see again, oh, I can divide it by 5. And then another 2. Has that happened before? This way you get it in one step. Does that make sense? Okay, let's look